James Harden outduels Steph Curry as Clippers send Warriors to the play-in. It was one of the most electrifying games of the regular season, and yet for the Golden State Warriors, the ending was nothing short of heartbreaking. Sunday afternoon at Chase Center felt like the unofficial start of the playoffs. With postseason seeding on the line, the Warriors hosted the LA Clippers in a must-win showdown, hoping to secure the 6th seed and avoid the dreaded play-in. What unfolded was a dramatic back-and-forth battle packed with superstar moments, but in the end, Golden State fell 124-119 in overtime. And with that loss, their postseason road just got much harder. Instead of a marquee first-round matchup with the Lakers, the Warriors now face a play-in duel at home on Tuesday night against the Memphis Grizzlies. A win puts them in the 7th seed and sets up a series against the Houston Rockets. A loss sends them to a sudden death game on Friday for the final playoff spot in the West. Sunday's clash wasn't just thrilling, it was a showcase of elite talent and playoff intensity. Steph Curry, battling through a thumb injury suffered on Friday, poured in 36 points with 7 triples. Jimmy Butler III added 30 points and 9 assists in a fiery performance. But it wasn't enough to overcome James Harden's masterclass, 39 points and 10 dimes, and Kawhi Leonard's effortless efficiency, dropping 33. Ivica Zubac dominated the paint with 22 points and 17 boards, tilting the physical battle in LA's favor. Both coaches tightened their rotations as if it were already May. No Jonathan Kuminga. No Gue Santos. Just 9 players per side, going all in. So close, yet so far. The Warriors started the game with pace and energy, turning a 12-6 deficit into a 33-25 first-quarter lead with sharp movement, swarming defense, and some fast break magic, including a highlight steal-to-layup transition from rookie Brandon Podziemski. They even built a double-digit lead in the second quarter. With Curry on the bench, Butler hounded Bogdan Bogdanović and helped the Dubs win those crucial non-Steph minutes. But the Clippers fought back hard. A 16-4 run, capped by a Harden floater, flipped the momentum and handed LA a 60-58 lead at halftime. From there, it was a tug-of-war. Draymond Green nailed a clutch 3 to fuel a 7-0 run early in the third, reclaiming the lead for Golden State. Curry and Butler traded blows with Harden and Leonard as the tension ratcheted up. When the third quarter ended with the Clippers up 82-81, it was clear this game was going down to the wire, or beyond it. And then came the fourth quarter chaos. The final frame was a highlight reel. Step-back threes, circus layups, poster dunks, it had everything. Harden looked like vintage Houston Harden. Zubac and Derrick Jones Jr. crushed the paint. Curry pulled out miracle shots, including a game-tying 3 with 3:36 remaining. The Warriors threw out a closing lineup of Curry, Podziemski, Butler, Green, and Gary Payton II, with Moses Moody cooling off after a stellar first-quarter defensive effort. Both defenses locked in. Each possession became a chess match. Curry hit clutch free throws. Leonard responded with a silky mid-range jumper. Curry drilled another 3 with under 2 minutes left to give the Dubs a 4-point cushion. But Harden drove in for a layup, and after a costly turnover, Chris Dunn lobbed a perfect pass to Zubac to tie the game with just under a minute remaining. Golden State had the ball and a chance to take control. But Curry got trapped and coughed up his 8th turnover of the night, each one feeling heavier than the last. Harden seized the moment with a floater, pushing LA back in front. Butler responded, keeping the Warriors within 2 with 50 seconds left. Then came the turning point. On the next possession, Butler locked up Leonard, forcing a 5-second violation. Warriors ball. Down 2. 36 seconds on the clock. A perfect setup. But they fumbled it. Payton found Green wide open under the rim for what should have been a game-tying layup, but Draymond, expecting contact that never came, missed. Then, inexplicably, the Warriors waited nearly the entire shot clock before fouling Leonard, leaving themselves just 6 seconds. Kawhi missed one, giving Golden State one last gasp. Steve Kerr drew up a brilliant inbound play during the timeout, freeing Buddy Hield for a clean look from the corner. In that situation, when LA clearly intended to foul, getting a 3 off at all was a minor miracle. But Hield's shot was off the mark, and Harden fittingly grabbed the board, iced the free throws, and slammed the door shut. It was exhilarating. It was crushing. It was playoff basketball at its most brutal. Now, the Warriors must refocus. Despite the disappointment, they're still in the play-in driver's seat. They host Memphis, a team they went 3-1 against this season, and if they take care of business, they'll face Houston, a more favorable matchup than the Lakers would have been. But Tuesday's game is no guarantee. Lose, and they'll play again Friday against the winner of Kings Mavericks, with everything on the line. For a team built on dynastic legacy, Golden State is now one loss away from a long, uncertain offseason. Now, all eyes turn to Tuesday. The Warriors are staring down the barrel of a win-or-go-home reality, a situation that no one in the Bay Area hoped to be in after a season full of highs, lows, and constant recalibrations. This isn't just about basketball anymore. It's about legacy. It's about whether the Warriors' core, Curry, Green, and Thompson, still has enough left in the tank to make one more run. And it's about whether Steve Kerr can adapt his system to survive in today's faster, younger, and more athletic Western Conference. The loss to the Clippers has ignited intense debate, both inside the organization and across the NBA landscape. National media outlets like ESPN and The Athletic quickly zeroed in on the late-game decisions, especially the defensive coverage on Kawhi Leonard, the controversial benching of Moses Moody, and the missed layup by Draymond Green. On social media, fans were torn between defending the team's effort and questioning its future. Klay Thompson, who struggled with consistency throughout the season, was unusually quiet post-game, speaking only briefly to reporters. His future with the team is uncertain, with free agency looming and no extension finalized. The question is no longer, will he be back? It's should he be? Steve Kerr also faces mounting pressure. While his in-game ATOs, after timeout plays, continue to impress, his rotation choices have been under the microscope. Choosing to sit Moody, one of the team's best on-ball defenders in that game, during critical late stretches raised eyebrows. His trust in veterans over rising talent has fueled whispers that the team's loyalty-first philosophy may be holding them back. Meanwhile, Steph Curry continues to do everything he can. His 36-point outing against the Clippers, on an injured hand no less, was nothing short of heroic. But even Curry, as transcendent as he is, can only carry so much. When your MVP is committing 8 turnovers, you know the burden is too heavy. From the Clippers side, the win is a confidence booster heading into their playoff series, and a reminder that, when healthy, their star duo of Harden and Leonard can hang with anyone. Harden, in particular, looked rejuvenated, cool, confident, and in full control. The Clippers' decision to push through with their core seems to be paying off, for now. For Golden State, however, everything now comes down to one night. If they beat Memphis, the narrative shifts. Suddenly, they're in the playoffs, facing a beatable Houston team, and the vibe becomes classic Warriors resilience. But if they lose? The consequences could be seismic. A first-round miss, or worse, missing the playoffs entirely, would all but force GM Mike Dunleavy Jr. and the front office to rethink the direction of the franchise. Changes would be inevitable. It could mean the end of the dynasty era, not symbolically, but functionally. There's also the economic angle. The Warriors carry one of the league's most expensive payrolls, and missing the playoffs would mean missing out on tens of millions in playoff revenue. That, combined with looming luxury tax decisions and potential roster shakeups, could spark a summer of transformation at Chase Center. And yet, they've been here before. This is a team that thrives with its back against the wall. Curry has built a career on proving people wrong. Draymond lives for moments like Tuesday night. And this young bench, Podziemski, Moody, even Heald and Payton, might just have enough hunger to fuel another late-season surge. The door is still open. But it's closing fast. Tip-off is Tuesday night at 7 p.m. Pacific Time in San Francisco. Everything is on the line, legacy, future, and the final chance at one more playoff run. Will the Warriors rise once again? Or will the curtain finally fall on the greatest dynasty of the modern NBA? Dub Hub, Steve Kerr praises Warriors' grit after heartbreaking overtime loss to Clippers. Welcome to your Monday, April 14th edition of Dub Hub, your go-to source for everything Warriors and NBA. It was a thriller on Sunday night, but the Golden State Warriors came up just short in an intense 124-119 overtime battle against the Los Angeles Clippers. The loss locks Golden State into the 7th seed in the Western Conference and sets the stage for a do-or-die path through the play-in tournament. Before we move on, if you are a Laker, leave your like. This will help you stay closer to all the news. Thank you. Despite the tough ending, head coach Steve Kerr had nothing but praise for his team's effort and energy. The guys fought with everything they had, Kerr said. The intensity was there, we just came up a few plays short. Stephen Curry led the charge with 36 points, while Jimmy Butler added 30 in a back-and-forth showdown. In the end, a few missed chances in overtime made all the difference. Had the Warriors pulled off the win, they would have clinched the 6th seed and punched a direct ticket to the playoffs. Instead, they'll have to regroup quickly and turn their focus to a high-stakes play-in matchup against the Memphis Grizzlies this Tuesday, a must-win game to keep their playoff hopes alive. For more on this and everything else happening around the NBA, check out our latest Monday News Roundup, right here. How one costly and unnecessary double team on Kawhi Leonard helped push the Warriors into the play-in. The Golden State Warriors are heading to the play-in tournament for the second straight year, and one ill-timed defensive decision might have been the tipping point. Sunday's 124-119 overtime loss to the Los Angeles Clippers wasn't just a heartbreaker. It was a strategic misfire at a time when the margin for error was razor-thin. Golden State had a chance to lock in the 6th seed and a first-round matchup with the Lakers. Instead, they'll now face the Memphis Grizzlies in a must-win play-in game, and much of that came down to a late-game choice to double-team Kawhi Leonard. The Warriors' defensive approach, often referred to internally as the Stackhouse scheme, named after assistant coach and de facto defensive coordinator Jerry Stackhouse, had its moments early. In fact, in the first half, the surprise traps and quick doubles rattled the Clippers, forcing them to speed up their half-court offense. That worked to Golden State's advantage, especially against deliberate isolation scorers like James Harden and Kawhi. But even then, not all the decisions made total sense. Take this example: Jimmy Butler stays put to clog the lane as Leonard drives against Moses Moody. While the play was executed well, the decision itself is questionable. Moody is a solid one-on-one defender and doesn't necessarily need help. Sure, the result was a win for the Warriors on that possession, but the process raised red flags. Late in the game, with the Warriors up 2 and the Clippers threatening, things got more complicated. Moody, who had done a commendable job defending Harden, Leonard and Powell, was inexplicably on the bench. In his place was Gary Payton II, an elite defender in his own right, but shorter and with less wingspan, 6 feet 8 inches versus Moody's 7 feet 1 inch. It's fair to question the move. Payton doesn't stretch the floor the way Moody can, and with him Butler and Draymond Green all on the court, the Clippers had more room to collapse on Steph Curry and pack the paint. The offensive spacing suffered. But what really unraveled things was on the other side of the ball, a single decision that snowballed. Leonard had the ball, guarded by Butler. Curry, meanwhile, was shadowing Chris Dunn, a player labeled a non-shooter, even though he went 3-for-3 from deep that night. Curry left Dunn to show early help on Kawhi, a choice that triggered the breakdown. Dunn wisely moved toward the right elbow, giving Kawhi an outlet. Curry fully committed to doubling, leaving Butler, who already had solid coverage, and opening the door for Dunn to make a clean pass. With Brandon Podziemski and Payton hesitant to help off shooters like Harden and Powell, the Warriors were suddenly in a 4-on-3 situation that quickly became a 2-on-1. Draymond Green was stuck trying to guard both Zubac in the paint, and Dunn simply lobbed it up. Zubac, standing a good 6 inches taller than Green, dunked it home. That play sparked a 13-8 run for the Clippers, a stretch where every little decision mattered, and the Clippers simply made a few better ones. The Warriors still had chances. There was Green's missed layup that would have tied the game. There were Curry's 8 turnovers, which blunted the impact of his otherwise brilliant 36-point, 75% shooting night. But all of it circles back to that moment, doubling Leonard when it wasn't needed, breaking the defensive structure, and giving the Clippers the window they needed. One defensive lapse. One rotation gamble. One play-in ticket punched. Now, the Warriors will have to regroup fast, with everything on the line Tuesday against Memphis. The fallout from the loss was immediate, not just in the standings, but in the tone around the locker room and the fan base. Steve Kerr, while composed in the post-game presser, didn't hide his frustration with the execution down the stretch. "We had our chances," Kerr said. "It comes down to details, small decisions, missed box outs, a turnover here, a blown coverage there. Against a team like the Clippers, you can't afford those." But perhaps the most telling moment came from Stephen Curry himself. Visibly exhausted, yet ever the leader, Curry emphasized accountability. "We're not looking for excuses," he said. "We've been here before. We know what's at stake. It's not the path we wanted, but it's the path we've got. Now we have to own it." And he's right. This isn't unfamiliar territory for Golden State. Last season, they also flirted with inconsistency before ultimately falling short of a deep playoff run. But this time, the pressure feels heavier. The roster isn't getting younger. Klay Thompson's future remains uncertain with free agency looming, and Draymond Green, always the emotional engine, has had his share of highs and lows this season, both on and off the court. The margin for error is vanishing, and the play-in tournament is far from a guaranteed path. Facing the Memphis Grizzlies, a gritty young squad with nothing to lose, will be a mental and physical test. Even if the Warriors win, they'll still need to play again just to officially secure a playoff spot. It's a gauntlet, and the kind of situation where veteran savvy can either shine or show its age. Meanwhile, the NBA world has taken notice. Analysts have begun to question some of Kerr's recent rotation choices, especially the benching of Moody in crunch time and the reliance on smaller lineups that struggle to secure defensive rebounds. Social media lit up after the final whistle, with fans and pundits dissecting every late-game possession, from Green's missed layup to Curry's double-team decision. Even opposing players chimed in. Paul George, watching from the sidelines due to injury, tweeted a simple respect to both squads. That was a war. But the subtext was clear. The Clippers weathered the storm, while the Warriors blinked. The loss also affects potential playoff matchups. Had the Warriors won, they would have faced the Lakers in a first-round clash that promised ratings, storylines, and star power. Now they're stuck in survival mode, and nothing beyond Tuesday is guaranteed. What's more, this game raised deeper questions about the team's identity. Are the Warriors still the same dangerous playoff-tested unit they were during their dynasty run? Or are they now a middle-tier team struggling to stay afloat in a rapidly evolving Western Conference? For now, there's no time to dwell. The Grizzlies are waiting. Every possession matters. Every decision will be under the microscope. The margin between extending the season and going home is thinner than ever. And for a franchise that once dominated the league, the road back to relevance just got a whole lot steeper.